Unravel the mystery behind Governor Abbott's migrant busing donations and explore the contentious debate surrounding its efficacy and ethical implications.
Well, the Texas Governor Greg Abbott's touted migrant busing program, funded largely by donations, faces scrutiny as records reveal only a fraction of the promised support materialized, including a questionable $900,000 contribution and misattributed donation. Let's go.
I had to choose this particular topic just to stick it to you Republicans. Another bait and switch. Okay. Oh, we're gonna take care of the migrant situation. Take care of the illegal invasion, as some conservatives call it. Um, and private donations is going to pay for it. No cost to the state. And the fact is, yeah, it's been on the public's dime. You know, I'm sure, I'm sure they'll get their money, maybe someday. However, this there was going to be a cost, and eventually it's going to come out of the public's pocket, money that could go to other services. But I guess people who may feel very passionately about this migrant crisis at the border, on this side of the argument, are not putting their money behind this effort. Put their money behind their mouths.
Well,
What's the saying?
yeah, well, David, this is basically all this does is it reduces the amount of busing that's going on because they're not having the donations in. Um, it's just basically, not putting your money where your mouth is. Okay, so these are, they can't put their money where their mouth is when they're busy trying to work with the president's, troubles that are being created by the Democrats. Look, if the Democrats were to stop the witch hunt against the president, the president of the United States, you know, excuse me, as you would call it, the former president of the United States, um, there'll be a difference. The people that donate here, this is the point I'm making, David, is this is the people that are donating here are too busy trying to make sure that they are behind Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is not funding his own campaign right now because he can't with all this stuff going on. So the rich and powerful that are willing are behind Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Trump can't with 400 million dollars in cash assets, as he said in the courtroom, to not be able to come up with the bond or get a bond. There's a lot going on. So bringing this up, I would just deflect that you can't raise money for immigrants when you're trying to get the president who's going to deport all of them. You don't get him elected. So I mean that's where they're going to go with that one, David.
Right. You did say that the RNC is paying for the Trump legal fees, right?
I did not say that. I mean, I'm saying that there are three pots of money for Donald Trump right now. There's the the legal fees. There's the campaign. That's where the RNC is ending up having to put its money is into a campaign. I don't see how they. I don't see. I'm going to have to take a look at right now. What I was going to do this weekend is I'm going to look at the numbers of what the Republicans in the House are raising, because they're going to have to try to get a larger majority,
Hmm.
see where the money that in the Senate's going. I mean, we have to remember that the Senate needs to try to increase their numbers of Republicans. The House wants to increase their numbers of Republicans, and that's where the RNC benefits. Typically, when you have a president that can afford his own, do his own fundraising and everything else. But I'm going to take a look at those numbers, because I think this is, again, David, this is where we get into the Republican trouble of we can't spread our money is going to be spread very thin. Democrats are doing very well with the Biden administration fundraising. That is clear. But that's the only focus they have, is to try to keep him in office. I don't think they're raising as much money in the Senate and the House either.
Well, actually, they're well into breaking records, to be honest. Some pundits are anticipating maybe 1.5 to 2.5 billion dollars raised for this election cycle altogether, not just the
I was
Biden,
going to say, because
but
you have
I mean
you have
altogether.
your house you have your House money, your Senate money, and your so they're just that's the thing. You're combining all of them,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
you're saying and Republicans are behind,
They are
but that's
behind the Democrats. Yes.
correct in fundraising. But
Yes.
where are those splits? Most of that money in the presidential in the presidential fundraising. I do believe with the Democrats.
Hmm.
So we'll find out. I'm gonna really go into those numbers this weekend, because I keep hearing raising more money. The Democrats are raising more money. I want to know
Hmm.
where they're raising that money. Because listen, Donald Trump, he's getting $5 from somebody who only has $4.50. I mean, that's amazes me. So
Sure.
look,
Sure.
I know that I know that it's the people that can't afford it that are actually spending the money.
However, those supporters of Trump, even though they can't afford it, I mean, they clearly fall in line with what he
Loyalty.
sees as right loyalty and also what his policies are and what he believes is a problem on the border. And I'm sure they value legal immigration and would, apply themselves to solving this issue by contributing to this particular fund. And I encourage everyone, if you believe there's a migrant issue, if you believe in the value of legal immigration, and you want to support Texas, you want to support Abbott, contribute contribute to this fund, particularly to these conservatives who fall in line with Trump's belief that there is a problem and he has
Well, wait,
a
David,
better.
I like the way you put that. Like there is no problem. I mean, come
No,
on,
I'm
we've been
not. No,
doing
no,
it.
no. There is a
The way you're
problem.
saying it, way you're saying it is like
No.
it's kind of parsing it in a way like, listen, we have a problem with the border. Okay,
Yes.
Texas has now had to implement SB 4 to actually enforce,
Hmm.
immigration. That is in Arizona does it under, Arizona does it under Democrat, and it gets thrown out. Now we have it being litigated all over again for Texas. Texas wants to
Hmm.
arrest. They want to arrest. They want
Correct.
to incarcerate, and they want to deport. And you know they now have the right to do that, because the law is now going to go into effect while the Supreme Court still looks at it. But Texas has been picking up the bill. Texas, you know, uh, and then Florida, we've been taking the bill too, because our legislature has loaned uh, police down there. There are several states that have. North Carolina wants to do it. That's why they have a, staunch conservative running as the lieutenant governor running in that state. There's so many people that want to help curb this problem, but it just doesn't look like the big donors are the ones that want to do it.
And they need to fall in line. They need to, these conservative big donors, like a gentleman I forgot out of Wyoming or something like that. Mellon is his last name. A big donor has contributed $50,000 to this effort. They need, these big donors need to lead the way for the small donors to contribute to this particular fund that Abbott has set
You
up.
guys just want them to donate to this fund so there's less money in the Democratic coffers for the
No,
president of the United States race.
no,
Listen,
no, no, no.
the economy
Dude,
sucks, guys. It
put your
doesn't matter
money
what
where
the
your
hell
mouth
people say.
is. Put your money where your mouth is. Contribute, contribute, contribute. And now that we have the Haitian crisis, we're having, I'm sure we'll have an influx of uh, Haitian migrants coming to Florida, coming to Texas, coming to Arizona. We need conservatives to help fortify the borders, since their champion, the president, Donald J. Trump, decided to encourage Congress people and senators not to support the bipartisan legislation, giving
That
president, giving
that
president,
legislation stops infuriating because he's
wait, let me
voting.
finish.
No. No,
Bipartisan
you can say
legislation,
bipartisan. It's Senate
bipartisan
bipartisan.
legislation,
Senate
giving the
bipartisan is different than
president,
House
giving
bipartisan. It's
giving
not getting
the
through the House no matter
president,
what.
President Biden, the powers needed to
He has the powers needed. He
stem
hasn't done
the
anything.
tide of
Listen, it's not the
migrants
president's
over the
responsibility
border.
anyways. He gave that off to the vice
Give him,
president.
give them,
Uh,
give him the power. There was
He
legislation,
has the
but Donald
power.
J. Trump
He has
lobbied
done
his
absolutely nothing
conservative
on the border.
allies in the Congress to not vote in favor of this bipartisan
I
legislation.
remember when he came into office
We
and he
will
says, I am going to, very
remind,
first thing I'm
we
going to do, very
will
first thing I'm going to
remind,
do
we
is
will
I'm going to
remind you
open the
guys of
border.
that. We will
Listen,
remind you guys of that.
and I will remind you that the very first thing that the president of the United States did was he said, I'm opening the freaking borders to everybody because I'm taking all this stuff out. And then when he did, he freaked out and he tried to put some of it back into place. Listen, this president has no idea how to secure the borders. He has no idea how to control foreign policy. And even if the economy is number wise good, people don't feel that we are going in the right direction. They don't feel we're going in the right direction because the president of the United States can't even have a legitimate conversation with the American people without it being written down by somebody else. He can barely walk the border. He is out of touch with it, and he is out. He is just. They're both too old, but he's just not there. Listen, his competency needs to be checked. He is not doing his job. His vice president isn't doing her job. Somebody is doing, the only people doing their job are the people trying to talk the talk. They're doing more PR spin than anything else because they're not doing anything. You're paying your taxes, you're putting your money in, you're getting less tax returns because you're supposedly getting more of your money back. People are upset. Low income people who are used to getting thousands of dollars back, getting $25 back. Listen, those are your tax dollars, working for you because you got a whole new W-4 system, a whole new system on in your payroll. Look, it's a disaster. We have 85,000 brand new IRS officers out there, so you got more money being spent on. Look, stop focusing on the federal government. Start focusing on your local government because, listen, David, you're right. You're right. I'm just interrupting you and over talking you because your mother keeps telling you to get rough with me. Well, you can't get rough when both sides are bad right now. Listen. The Senate is the only place that you have more bipartisanship. So you can use the word bipartisan all the time but those liberals are going away. You're getting more Ted Cruz's. You're getting more. You're getting more of the staunch Republicans in there. The Senate's changing. The gentleman legislature that comes out of there is fading. So while you still have hope with Mitch McConnell, who still believes in compromise, you got to do as much as you can. So it's not bipartisan. As far as it gets to the House, it's going to be killed anyway. So it doesn't matter what Donald Trump says. So yeah, we have a problem at the border. This fund is great to talk about, but you know what? We all saw what happened with the wall money and who took that and now is going to jail for it. So we said build a wall. We had it. This is why private investors are not keen on doing this anymore, is because of what's his name did when he took all that money for the Trump wall that never materialized. Bannon, I'm going to say his name, Bannon. Bannon embezzled all that money. Is basically is what happened. So look, uh, freedom of speech, whether it's right or wrong, I'm just saying it. No. Listen, Bannon is in trouble for that, but this is why private investors don't want to invest in these things anymore, because they don't trust the people that are actually collecting the money. So
It's a lot there to unpack, but I'm glad you brought it back to the migrant issue on the Texas border and Abbott's fund, to his private fund to pay for the transporting of 100,000, so far 100,000 migrants to other states.
they're still
Again,
getting there.
I and again, like you said, conservatives are going to talk the talk. I'd just like to see more of them put their money where their mouth is. And I encourage every single conservative who's listening to this, who's watching this, who's not listening to this, who's not watching this. Hopefully you can feel this. Hopefully you will know this. To help Greg Abbott out, contribute all that you can, as much as you can. If you got $4.50, contribute $5. As Joel said, help
Dude,
help a brother out in Texas. Let's
dude.
end this migrant crisis now.
David wants more money. David wants more money for the Democrats to be able to put on those boring advertisements that try to pretend that the economy is better than it is. Listen, the president of the United States is doing a terrible job, and there's nothing you can say to make it any different. And all we're going to get is the same shit from the other side. So, uh, guys, the primary is basically over. If you have a primary in your state, save your money. Florida just proved it. Okay, save your money. It's
Send it to
over.
Greg. Send it to Greg in Texas.
Send it to Greg. Yeah, that's right. David, thank you very much. If you want to know more about the presidents of the United States, we have Presidential Chronicles out. It's a poetry book about history, and it's really well written. The guy that wrote it put a lot of heart and soul into it. No, oh no, I can't. I have to get somebody else to do that part. No, listen, I had fun writing it. I hope you have fun reading it, and get it at a discount while it's discounted. I really appreciate you taking an interest. But like, share, become a subscriber. We have the Informer. We have so much going on. Our political innovation here at Jay in Washington. Our associates work hard at everything, and the Jay in Washington Network wants to be your source of information, your source of conversation. So that's my final word.
Thank you. And my final word is contribute as often as you can to the Greg Abbott Migrant Crisis Fund of Texas. Every little bit, little bit. If you have to beg, steal, please, if you are a true patriot, a true conservative, mortgage the house, sell the car, donate an organ, but please help Greg Abbott out. Donate to his migrant crisis fund as much as you can. and maybe save a little bit for the Donald J. Trump legal fund also.
George Soros just gave $900,000 for your comments right there. Thank you very much, David. Oh, we got to get this thing off. We got to get this thing off before we really screw it up. Thank you very